You're watching Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney, Southwest Florida's retirement television. He's an author, a radio host, a fiduciary, and Southwest Florida's premier investment advisor. Here is Senior Investment Advisor Eric Kearney.
Hello and welcome to Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney. I'm Wendy Falk and I'm here with Eric Kearney. Hey Eric, how are you?
Hey Wendy, how are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you as
well. You doing okay?
Yeah, doing great.
All right, well let's get the show started. What do you think?
I say we do it.
Well, I say so too. Eric, we've talked so many times about planning for retirement. And you know, having a secure retirement takes planning and time.
Yeah.
So let's talk about 7 ways that you can help people plan for a successful retirement.
Sure.
First of all, you should start sooner than later, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Yes.
For sure.
Procrastination is really the biggest thing that hinders our retirement. There's a lot of people, no matter how much money they have, they come to the office and they're like, Eric, I wish I met you 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And it really does make a significant difference. The sooner that you start, the better off that you are. We typically work with a higher net worth client. And so when they're coming into me, you know, they're doing very well. But no matter how much they have, I've never had anyone say, I wish I had more money in retirement.
Right.
Or I wish I had less money in retirement, rather. But you know, so the thing is that, you know, they always want more. They always want to make sure that they're okay in retirement. It's not that they necessarily want to spend more. They really want that comfortability of knowing that they're going to be okay. And so everybody always equates that to having a lot more money. But really, I mean, it comes down to 3 things. You want vision, recognition, and navigation. So what we're doing is that we want to understand their vision of what they have in that retirement.
Yes.
And we want to go over, what does your lifestyle look like, smell like, feel like? How much does it cost, right? And then we want them to realize that we're recognizing that, because a lot of people out there don't feel like they're being heard. And so first we do vision. Recognition is us recognizing what they want to do, all the way from the planning department to the concierge service. What are their needs that have to happen on a monetary day-to-day basis, right? And then all of a sudden it comes down to the investments. So we're recognizing exactly what they need. And then the third part is navigation. How do we navigate through all these waters? And again, with a tumultuous market or a downturn in the economy, how are we still able to give them that lifestyle and navigate through that? And so there's different parts of the financial planning process that people put off. You know, they procrastinate and they put off doing it. And there's a lot of times where people say, Eric, I want you to manage my money, but I don't have time to do a plan right now. That's where we pull back and we say, then we don't have the time to work with you. And the thing is that if we don't put them through the process, if we don't understand their vision and we don't understand the recognition, there's no navigation, because we have to understand which way we need to take you. So through all of this, and I've said this many times before, the clients, the new clients that we work with, and even our current clients, they take their retirement planning uber seriously.
Yes.
And so what they're doing is they're like, I need this process. And they're coming in and they're seeing our planning team over and over and having everything updated. They want to know that they're going to be okay. And so again, you know, procrastination is a dangerous thing for a lot of people, but the people, again, that are proactive instead of reactive end up doing very well.
Let's take this opportunity. You get to know your clients so well when they come into the office. Take this time to tell our viewers how you got started in this business, how long you've been doing it, and all about your work ethic.
Okay, so this is difficult for me to talk about. My dad passed away last year, and both my parents were self-employed. And I actually grew up in a print shop, and so I didn't really watch a lot of cartoons. I actually went to work with my dad on Saturday mornings, and my dad is the one that instilled my work ethic. And my mom owned 2 tax works offices and was also a financial advisor, and I kind of learned the business from her. And I went into commercial floor covering for a very long time, and in the winter when we slowed down, I would go into my mom's office and I would help her. And finally, in 2001, I realized that I wanted to get out of floor covering because I was so good at financial planning, and I went and I got licensed.
Yes.
I was then tutored under a very large money manager who had a very large minimum. And so he's the one that really taught me how to manage money. And so after a while, I went independent. I became a fiduciary. I moved down to Florida in 2011, and now we have 4 offices. And so, you know, the thing is that I've realized that when working with a more affluent client, they have significantly more sophisticated needs, and we're able to deliver those. And that's what my mom and dad were doing way back when. They taught me work hard, serve the client well, give them what they want. And I do work very hard, and I'm very fortunate to have a staff that works incredibly hard. And we have a lot of values instilled in our whole practice, and our clients see that. And while I am a pretty laid back kind of person, when it comes to financial planning, I take this very seriously. And we really do want to make sure that we're doing the right thing for the client. And when the client sees that all their bases are covered, we're good. When everyone's on the same page, we're good. Everyone understands exactly where they are. And so that's really what we're doing. I think it really comes down to my mother and father taught me how to be transparent with my clients. And so our clients want full transparency. They want to see everything. And so I thank you, Dad, because one of the greatest gifts that you ever gave me was my work ethic. And I've always been appreciative of that for sure.
And as a fiduciary, you do provide transparency, and it's by law and license, you put your clients first.
Right, so their best interest has to come first, and so that's what we always do, but they always see that as well. Through the financial plan, through the income plan, through the concierge service that we have, people see where everything is in their best interest. Every product, tool, investment, we're showing them why it's a good fit for them. And so a lot of times people appreciate that because with the transparency that they have, again, they're not walking out to the car after they leave my office and say, what just happened? They're walking out and high-fiving each other saying, hey, we're gonna be okay. That's what we wanna see.
Yeah, I've seen them leave the office, and they do. They seem so happy, and you're shaking their hands, walking them to the car. And they just seem comfortable. I mean, you make them feel comfortable when they come in.
It's amazing when you first meet a client and you go over their finances. It's amazing the different relationship that you have even 3 and 6 months down the road. You're much closer. You know much more about their families. You really get involved. And we get texts all the time. Hey, my husband's not feeling well, or this happened, or we're going on a trip. And it's really nice that you stay in touch with these people, even outside of meetings. So again, it really is. You're entering into that financial relationship. And that's what people want right now more than ever.
Oh, yes. Well, Eric, let's take this time. We're going to open up the phone lines. The number is 1-800-779-1942. Eric, tell our viewers what they could receive if they're one of the first 10 callers.
Yeah, if you've never had a second opinion, you're looking for a financial plan, or you're interested in a portfolio recovery strategy, we're going to take the next 10 callers. This is a $1,500 value. We're going to give it away under no obligation, fully complimentary to the next 10 callers. And what this will consist of is simply taking a look at your current statements, doing a full analysis, the tax report, the fee report, a Morningstar report, maybe even do a volatility analysis. Let's take a look at where that takes you. Let's see where this plan actually goes for you. Let's get you reacquainted, and again, without any obligation. If you're interested in your very own income plan, we'll show you proven strategies and techniques to turbocharge your retirement income. In short, we're going to take all the guesswork out of financial planning. So again, 1-800-779-1942. Call us right now.
Please stay with us. We'll be back after this short break.
What does your retirement look like? Is it filled with travel, spending time with family, uninterrupted rounds at the golf course? Or are you too worried to even think about your hopes and dreams?
Questions about your retirement are normal. So come into our office, sit down with us, and let us help you find those answers.
Eric and his team can answer your questions with a complimentary review of your retirement and income plan, and it all starts with getting to know you.
We specialize in helping people just like you prepare for the retirement that they've always dreamed of.
They'll do exactly that by going over your current strategy to expose the weaknesses that may exist in your retirement portfolio. Plus, they'll explain potential risks and possible strategies to you in easy-to-understand terms and help get you reacquainted with your portfolio and income strategy.
What I enjoy most about retirement planning is sitting down with you and having real conversations about your retirement dreams and goals.
Once they understand your retirement goals, objectives, and dreams, they'll work to custom build a retirement plan to help ensure that you cannot outlive your income in retirement.
Retirement doesn't have to be scary. Let us help you retire confidently.
Because every dream needs a plan. Call Eric today and schedule your visit. You only retire once, so let's get it right the first time.
Thanks for joining us again on Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney. Eric, before the break, we were talking about how you got into the business and how you treat your clients, and I've seen it firsthand, and it is something to see. They are so happy. When they leave your office, you can see that they go, oh, I am going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I like that little handwritten sign. I think when some things have happened, you have this crazy little sign in the office. You're going to be okay. It's going to be okay, right?
Yeah. It is going to be okay.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you, I think that's the thing that gives me so much satisfaction with this business is taking somebody that comes in that has a lot of discomfort with their money and providing them comfort.
Right.
And again, what we're doing is that I want to get to know them. And in that first meeting, we're asking a few questions, but they're doing the majority of the talking.
Right.
And I love that because I want to get to understand it's not just about the money. Like there's some people that say, here, Eric, here's my statements. I don't care about the statements, right? I care about you. I want to know what's important to you. I want to know how you feel about money, right? And a lot of times if there's a couple that comes in, they each feel differently. So I'm going to ask the husband a question, and then I'm going to ask his wife the same question. And I'll tell her or him, it's okay if you guys both have different answers, because a lot of times people do. And if a couple comes in and I say, how do you feel about your finances? And the husband will say, oh, I think we're in a pretty good position. And she'll say, yeah, me too. No, that's not going to fly in my office,
Yeah,
right?
me too.
Yeah, no, yep, nope, yep. No, I want to know exactly how you feel, right? Because we're going to get into the nitty gritty of this, because if you don't really knock off how people feel about in the beginning, you're not really going to enter into that relationship in a very good way. So you want to figure out how that client feels about money and what their experience has been, what's been a good experience, what's been a bad experience. And we go through all that. And people say, geez, I actually like answering these questions. And again, no one's asked me this before.
Right.
The bottom line is that we have to understand where we're going with your money. And so again, the statements, I mean, they're critical in the first meeting, but I don't really want to take a look at them. I want to understand how you feel about your money first.
Let's talk about some red flags with investments. Maybe you're having people come into your office and they're seeing you. They've fired their other investment advisor, and they've decided to hire you through a meeting, or they've seen the television show and they think you're going to be the perfect fit for them. The number one red flag, and you and I have talked about this and talked about this and talked about this, is there's no plan. There are a lot of people out there that have an advisor and they really have never had a detailed plan done.
It's incredible. So our concierge service in the first meeting will contact the client, and the client will say, okay, what am I to bring in my first meeting? And they will tell them, I'd like you to bring in your detailed income plan. I want you to bring in your comprehensive financial plan and all of your current statements.
Yes.
They come in, there's never an income plan. There is very rarely a financial plan. If it is, it's 5 years old and completely out of date, and it's on paper. And then they come in with their statements. So most of the time they're coming in with one out of the three things, and the first two things they've never had done. And one lady brought me in a 3-inch binder from Morgan Stanley, and she said, hey, do you want to take a look at this? This was written 6 years ago. That plan was more than likely out of date 6 months after it was written.
Yes.
All of our financial plans and our income plans are written and they live online. So our clients actually have their own private portal that they can go in and make changes to their portfolio and their financial plan. So this is what people want, is they want to be able to make changes to their financial plan call Donna and say, hey, I might want to make some major changes. Can you go in there and help me make these? And that's what Donna's doing is to keep updating that for that client. So again, there's 4 sides of financial planning. There's the financial plan, there's the income plan, there's the concierge service, that a lot of people think service in the financial industry is optional, but it should be mandatory. Right, it should be mandatory. It should be you absolutely need someone to be contacting you and be servicing all of your day-to-day needs. Last is the wealth management side with the investments. Without the first 3 in place, forget about the last one, right? Because you have to have all of those playing in sync. And I'll tell you, and you've seen this too, Wendy, when the markets go up, there's some that are more important than others. But again, when the markets are going down, we have to pull other sides of that out. So we're prepared to do that. And that's what the clients like about it. Whatever is super relevant is at the forefront. We're offering that to them, right? And so when the markets start to fall apart, here's your income plan. You're going to be okay. We already took care of your investments. We were proactive with that. Here's your income plan. You're still going to be okay. The nice thing is, all through 9/11, 2008, market pullbacks, market corrections, we've never had to turn off a client's income. And so you have to remember that even though when the world is shut down, we still get a utility bill, we still get a tax bill, we may have a mortgage, we may have a car payment. Those bills don't go away.
No.
And so there's a lot of people that have been suffering this year because they've been furloughed or laid off or just not working. And so that's a really big deal, because how do you continue to pay those bills? A lot of people will go back to work, but if you're in retirement, you realize this is really serious, because another word for retirement is unemployed. So now we have to create that your own paycheck. How are we going to do that? So again, processes over outcomes is what people want.
Well, we're talking about, and we've been talking about the red flags, and it's a red flag to me if you're not getting service when you come to a financial advisor.
Right.
And that's what your retirement wealth, I mean, you all just provide amazing service for your clients.
Thank you, Wendy. I appreciate that. And I'll tell you, we've had a lot of new clients coming in where they feel like their advisor's hiding underneath the desk and hoping that the market comes back. That's not a strategy. And so what we're doing is that we're reaching out to our clients through videos, through phone calls, through meetings, whether they're virtual meetings or whatever that may be, through Skype, and we're reaching out to them. And they're like, hey, Eric, I'm not worried. I know I'm okay.
Yeah.
That's what we want to hear. And so as time and time goes by, we don't know where the markets are going to go. But as long as we're staying at the forefront of this and being proactive, that's all we really care about.
What happens when you have someone come in, and to me would just be almost unimaginable in today's world. Someone comes to you and all of their money is in one investment, because one of the things that you and I have talked about is like diversify, diversify, diversify.
Right.
I know we've talked about like the average millionaire in retirement has 7 streams of income. So you've got to have diversification for that.
Right.
So what kind of red flag does that throw up, when someone comes in and all their money's in one pot?
Yeah, so people come in with a super concentrated position of a stock. And so I look at it and I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do with that, right? And so people are like, well, this is what has made my fortune. And while I appreciate that, right, we still have to write a financial plan. And what they're going to see is that, when it comes down to asset allocation, that's kind of what powers us through a difficult market. So you have to have the ability to power down to a more conservative position, and then all of a sudden when things turn around, power up to a more equity-driven position.
Yes.
So the thing is that when you have a super concentrated position, it's kind of like a clock. A broken clock is always right twice a day. I mean, you're going to have times where that portfolio is perfect, but it's not always going to be that way. So you really have to identify the risk that's in someone's portfolio and really identify that and show them, look, this is a risky position. What are you doing to hedge that? And so there's a lot of people that come into me for help with that. They're like, Eric, I've just had this for so long. How do I get out of this? And how do I slowly maneuver into a different portfolio? And Wendy, the thing is that you don't want to go in there and rip that whole portfolio down to the studs. Sometimes it's just doing some simple remodeling to that portfolio to tweak it over time. And so again, you've got to go through that whole process and realize what the time frame is, what the time horizons are for that client, and really start to build a plan that meets their needs. There is no cookie cutter financial plan for anyone out there.
That is so true.
And that's why we have a concentrated financial planning side and an income planning side, because I want to make sure that they're covering all their needs.
Let's hold this thought for just a second, Eric, because we're going to need to go to break. But before we go, I want you to tell our viewers what you're going to offer them complimentary if they're one of the first 10 callers.
Sure, Wendy. So our staff is standing by. If you've never had a second opinion, you're interested in a full comprehensive financial plan, or you're in need of a portfolio recovery strategy, give us a call, no obligation, fully complimentary. This is a $1,500 value. You will see the difference between your current portfolio and your new portfolio. If you haven't had a plan, we'll build a full plan for you. We're going to go through all the reports for you, the fee reports, the Morningstar reports, a volatility index. We're going to take a look at taxes. We're going to take a look at everything that you may be questioning right now in your portfolio. If you're interested in an income stream, we'll show you proven strategies and techniques to turbocharge your retirement income. Give us a call at 1-800-779-1942, and we'll take your call right now.
Grab a cup of coffee and stay with us. We'll be back with more Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney.
What does your retirement look like? Is it filled with travel, spending time with family, uninterrupted rounds at the golf course? Or are you too worried to even think about your hopes and dreams?
Questions about your retirement are normal. So come into our office, sit down with us, and let us help you find those answers.
Eric and his team can answer your questions with a complimentary review of your retirement and income plan, and it all starts with getting to know you.
We specialize in helping people just like you prepare for the retirement that they've always dreamed of.
They'll do exactly that by going over your current strategy to expose the weaknesses that may exist in your retirement portfolio. Plus, they'll explain potential risks and possible strategies to you in easy-to-understand terms and help get you reacquainted with your portfolio and income strategy.
What I enjoy most about retirement planning is sitting down with you and having real conversations about your retirement dreams and goals.
Once they understand your retirement goals, objectives, and dreams, they'll work to custom build a retirement plan to help ensure that you cannot outlive your income in retirement.
Retirement doesn't have to be scary. Let us help you retire confidently.
Because every dream needs a plan. Call Eric today and schedule your visit. You only retire once, so let's get it right the first time.
So happy to have you back with us. Eric, before our break, we were talking about some red flags in retirement planning. And one of the ones that I want to ask you, and we kind of touched on it earlier in the show, seeing how you meet with your clients so frequently and you're in touch with them all the time. This would be a big red flag to me, and I know you're going to say, yeah. What about when people say, I don't have any meetings with my financial advisor?
Yeah, unfortunately, this year's been really big on that. And I'll tell you, with all the classes that we teach, the radio show, the TV show and everything, people will call me up and, they'll start talking about their advisor and they'll say, Eric, I really like my advisor. They're funny. I trust them, right? But I don't know if they're capable of handling my needs. And I think to myself, well, geez, my barber, I like him. Pretty funny guy, and I trust him with my hair, but I wouldn't trust him with my money. The bottom line is that you have to start asking yourself, has my advisor graduated from my capabilities, my needs, my portfolio? And there's a lot of times where I have asked people, are you one of your clients, are you one of your advisor's bigger clients? And they're like, I don't know. So the interesting thing, Wendy, was we had a gentleman up in Pennsylvania. He was moving his 401k over to me, and I kept looking at his allocation, and it didn't make any sense. And I said to him, I said, Tom, every time you add more money into this, the allocation never seems to change. It wasn't getting any more sophisticated. And I said to him, I said, Tom, I said, are you your advisor's biggest client? He goes, I don't know, I'll ask him. And so before he moved his money over, He calls up his advisor. He says, hey, am I one of your bigger clients? He goes, oh yeah, by far. And that's not what Tom wanted to hear, because the guy basically, he said, you are one of my biggest clients by far. And so basically he was never handling that size money. And a lot of people don't understand that just because you're a licensed investment advisor doesn't mean that you know how to manage money. It just means that you are a licensed salesperson. And so when people come into me, they're kind of giving me the third degree, and I get it. But I also understand where they're coming from. And so they want to know that I'm actually capable of understanding their lifestyle. They want to know that I'm capable of handling their needs. They want to know that I'm capable of understanding their lifestyle and what it costs. And how do we combat taxes and everything else that can can come up. So now during this time, there's a lot of people that are questioning their advisor's capabilities and their strategy. And there's no doubt about that. And then that's where they're coming in and they're like, okay, I'm all right with investing time with building my financial plan. And it's made a huge difference for a lot of people. And I'll tell you, this has been one of the very best commitments that they've made, is taking that time out. You know, we talked about before about cleaning out our closets and cleaning out the pantry. Get all your finances in order, because like I said, this could be one of the greatest resets for the next decade. And I'm really excited about that too.
Let's talk about how people can get in touch with you. You have a recently redesigned website that is so well done. And how can they set up an appointment to come in and talk with you, or maybe set up a virtual meeting? Yeah,
so we're doing virtual meetings, and we're also doing social distancing right now. We have 4 offices. We're located in Bonita, Cape Coral, Punta Gorda, and also Sarasota. And they can give us a call at 1-800-779-1942. They can also go to our website, erickearneyadvisor.com.
That sounds good. Well, let's talk a little bit more about, just briefly, because we're getting close to the end of the show, on your portfolio recovery strategy, and then let our viewers know what they will receive if they call in, if they're one of the next 10 callers.
Yeah, if you're one of the next 10 callers, we're going to send you a copy of our portfolio recovery strategy. This has been around since 2001. I've reviewed it, we've updated it, we've rewritten it towards times like these. Right now, people are looking for a portfolio recovery strategy like no other. So if you're one of the next 10 callers, give us a call at 1-800-779-1942. We'll provide that full portfolio recovery strategy for you.
Eric, it's been great having you on the show. If you'd like to reach out to Eric, call the number on the screen or visit their website. Eric would love the opportunity to sit down with you and help you with all of your retirement needs. He and his team work wonderfully together, and they will look so forward to hearing from you. You have a great day and an even better retirement.